I had spent the night at Tom Price, and my immediate goal was to drive cross-country to view the world's biggest rock, Mount Augustus, for the first time, and then to wind my way across to Exmouth. It was a big couple of days. Coles hidden away in there, and a few other specialty shops, all low rise. And there's an oval just in front of us here. Nice youth centre. Dog care. I wonder whether that guy in Sydney wants to be in four-wheel drive from this place as well. That's the Baptist Church. Fire officers. All very low rise. Very parklandy. Quite a pretty little place actually. For a mining town. The pub. And the top shop. There's some of these places. The beach markets belong to the houses or not, I don't know, but it's really, it's a beautiful little town. So I assume it's the town water supply, and I guess no fishing. What are these guys doing here? Came in last night and they were just silhouetted. That, folks, is Karratha. And I've just scared the living daylights out of myself. I've come up on top of Mount Nameless. It's a four-wheel drive only track. It's narrow and it's bloody steep. And that little dirt road down there is where it started. But look at the view. Look at those mountains just running down there. It's rising up out of the plain. I don't think there's anywhere to stop and look at it on the way down. You're too busy concentrating on what you're doing, but... And then from the town down there, let's cruise around the other way. All those gullies and hills and little gorges and things running back. And then from the beauty of the nature to the desecration of nature and what is fueling the state's prosperity. Mining. We'll see more of that going down the hill, I think, hopefully. We can stop to do it. And there's the top of the hill just there. Hills have been chopped away, blown to pieces. And then there's the ore train, wending its way like a huge king brown snake. Look how long that is. It's still coming. There's a pool with fishermen in it. And that's the caravan park we were in last night. Quite a nice little caravan park, actually. The mining thing, a bit more. Thanks a lot. Got to concentrate pretty hard on this road because she's... ABC Radio, Western Australia. This is pretty scary. That is where we've been, up the top of that mountain there. It doesn't look too big on this, but I tell you what, it's a bloody long way up. So that is right in Tom Price. It's Mount Nameless. It's taken up an extra hour or so of my time this morning, but I think it was well worth it. Righto, two important notices. Please be advised that no fuel is available along this route. Be sure you have sufficient supplies to see you to your destination. Approximate distances: Mount Augustus, 295 kilometres. And the all-important one, road open to all traffic. So it means we should get through. Well, we're on the road heading towards Ashburton Downs stations, and we're about 25 kilometres in, and the countryside's now become sort of very stony, and yeah, it's sort of saltbush type stuff, I suppose. Every now and again we get a reminder of how wet it's been with the road. You can see the mud, and you can see the way it's been stirred up, and it's dried out in that sort of condition. So yeah, it's very interesting. Sections like that. And just at this moment we're on a very nice smooth piece of road. But it's not always like that. Quite often it's a bit of corrugation, but it's these things across the road here that every now and again there's a dip, and where the water's gone through, it's created a channel. And the water just back there. Yeah, it would have only been a few days ago and this would have been underwater and would have been impassable. And you can see the remains of how people worked their way through. Meanwhile, just sitting on the side of the road watching everything happen. It's a few cows. Well, here we are, approaching Ashburton Downs station, and we find this. He's got a flat tyre. Now, I don't know whether he's been parked there because he's got a flat tyre or whatever, but it's only a little dump truck. I mean, those tyres are only about 6 foot tall. Okay, we have arrived at a river crossing, and we found a meeting of people who are just standing there enjoying themselves. Now, this is in fact the Ashburton River, and you can see the bits of what remains on the fence. And there is a floodway here, which is quite good. So we're now just approaching Ashburton Downs station. Right, well, we've got 130 kilometres now before we reach return up to Pagandy. And this over here is the Ashburton Downs homestead. We've done close on 155 kilometres since we got off the main road, and despite the fact that a lot of the road, there's not a lot of corrugation, but you need a lot of concentration on the road, because it seems to me that most of this is floodplain, and when the rain has happened, there's been water coursing across the road, and you've got to be very careful of gullies and ruts and things that are cutting across the road. Now, in a place like this, you'd expect it. Here we go, because that's a river course. But just out in the middle of a paddock, or be suddenly a gully across the road, and if you're not careful, you can melt through. In fact, I've been caught a number of times, and there we go, there again. This would be. It really is something you've got to be very careful of when you're driving in these sorts of conditions. But the countryside is beautiful. It's fairly sparse, for sure, but there's mountains cropping up here, there and everywhere. Certainly it's the sort of country you wouldn't see driving along on a bitumen road in most cases. This is true black block desert country, there's no doubt about that. See here where the road has been wet in the last week or so, and where the wheel ruts just a few days ago would have been chopping the road up. Okay, we've just crossed the Pengelly River, and We're now approaching the turn off, which will turn us down back towards Cobra Station and take us into Mount Augustus. We've got about 150 kilometres to go and we'll be there. There's evidence of a lot of water through here. The road back there was still slightly damp. And here's another one of those water courses across the road. So be very careful with them. Well, looks like this is our turn off. 130 kilometres is what the map says. 130 kilometres is what the speedo says. And what does this sign says? Pingandi, 50 kilometres. Mount Augustus, it says on the post over there. So we're in the right, going the right way. Meekatharra straight on, Parabadoo. Well, we turn and that's the way we go. Reset the speedo and we're on our way. According to the map, I've got 146 to go. Well, we're within 20 kilometres of Mount Augustus. I have a feeling that it's hidden behind these hills over here. But the landscape is ever changing. Keep getting caught out in these bloody dips. Think you've got it, and then you suddenly realise, oh, hit the brakes, skid to a halt, too late, thump. It's very tricky. Starting to see quite a few more kangaroos now too. I'd go so far as to say that this road hasn't been open very long. It looks dampish, and the kangaroos are down close to the ground. And look at the germination on the side of the road here. There's plenty of rain through here. Mind you, you should see the plume of dust behind us. Now, which way do we go here? Sign in the middle of the road telling us there's a gate. I've been watching this hill for a while now. It just seems to just come out and dwarf everything. I'm assuming that's Mount Augustus. Assume we're on a station, well, we're on a station, we know that, but I assume we travel through the station to get to where we're going. We just keep going straight through. There's obviously an airstrip out here somewhere because there's an aeroplane back there. I hope this ain't it. Now that is one big rock, let me tell you. Pity the sun's not sort of shining on the side of it though. Well, it's definitely the rock, all right. Looking at it through the binoculars, the difference between it and the Ayers Rock, of course, is the Ayers Rock is just rock surface. This one does have a lot of foliage on it. Fortunately, the sun's not through at the moment. Let's see if we can get in and just have a closer look. But there's a lot of trees and things up the side of that hill. Well, it's sunrise at Mount Augustus. I don't know how this is going to come up on the telly, but anyhow, we made an attempt at it. And the rock is slowly starting to light up. Okay, just gone 6:15 in the morning, and it's looking good. You can see there's a smattering of vegetation on the rock. Yeah, the sun's actually coming out of the clouds at the moment. It's a different shape, obviously, to Ayers Rock. It's longer. It appears to be longer. It's about 5. Okay, we're now around the back of Mount Augustus and actually looking probably more along it. Okay, rather than side on. Now, I can't remember what Ayers Rock is, but this is a monolith. It's the world's biggest monolith. One of the major differences between the two is, of course, this one has foliage on it, Ayers Rock doesn't. Okay, we're a few more kilometres along the way. This thing, in actual fact, is somewhere around about 10 kilometres long. It's a very long rock. Of course, looking straight into the sun, so that really doesn't help as far as the image is concerned. But there is a form of gorge or canyon over there by the looks of things. Okay, so in actual fact, that's the gorge we were talking about. It's actually an indentation back into the hill. And still just a little bit further along. Just an idea of unlike Uluru, there is a summit trail here. I do suggest you contact the ranger before you go. It's a 6-hour return trip. But we're looking at the other two things, the Gully Trail and the Flintstone Rock. They're different to trails in other places where they use arrows. Calm, here they're using white spots as the markers for the trip. Okay, this is on the Flintstone Rock and Aboriginal carvings and paintings in here. And they're in under that rock face there, which is called Flintstone Rock. And as you can imagine, this would be a rushing torrent of water down here. In the event of rain. Right in the middle of the watercourse. And as a kid, just follow the white dots. This is around towards the west face. This is an interesting, formation on this rock, that's for sure.
Very short time to prepare the Socceroos for these games against the Solomon Islands, and then, presuming they win that, for the match against the 5th place.
This is the cattle pool. It was used by drovers for a number of years as a stopping place for moving their cattle from between Carnarvon and Meekatharra. Delightful little stretch of river. The walk runs for a couple of kilometres, or for 2 kilometres return. But we need to try and get across to, well, pretty much towards Exmouth. So we've a lot of miles to travel today. We have travelled around Mount Augustus. There are some trails and things that show Aboriginal art. Just seen a little bit of that. It's Mount Augustus just over the back there. I think we've seen the best of it, so we're on our way. Righto, this is the last look at this this beautiful mountain. It rises 717 metres from the surrounding plains. That's 2,330 feet. It's visible for many miles in most directions. It is a monocline, not a monolith, as we've been saying. Rock strata isolated by erosion of the surrounding landscape and dipping in one direction. It's huge, ancient, and very impressive. I think that probably the other rock, Uluru, is a monolith. This is a monocline. This is Cobra Station. This is just the next station along from Mount Augustus. They also allow camping on the property, and they also serve petrol and food. So I'm just going to go and grab something to eat. The Cobra Station was one of the stops on the Kingsford-Smith Mail route, which went all through this area, and it's now owned by Calm, and Jim is the host here. He's leased the place back and is hoping to reset it up as a tourist destination. He's trying to get back a liquor license that they used to have years ago, trying to reset it up as the original Travellers Inn again. Okay, so even at the background we have all sorts of signs telling us where to go. Okay, just in case you missed out, you could get to Exmouth. Someone's even put that one up there as well. So that's the road we're heading up. As we turn the corner, it's where he lives. This is the Gifford Creek Road. I dare say a fair bit of this is generally underwater in the wet season. It's very open land. Very open around here. The other thing that's very surprising is that, and it's possibly due to the fact that there's been recent rains and the roads have been recently graded again, but the roads are generally in remarkably good condition. That's a floodway there. Mind you, this road is listed as a major tourist road from Gascoyne Junction. This is evidence from the fact that I just passed a post which told me that Gascoyne Junction is 230 kilometres away, so it'll be interesting to see once we turn off this main road and start heading across towards Maying. So we're walking across the road. We've turned onto the Barradale Road. We're now going via Lyndon. Right. Got a couple of those today. This one was moving slowly, the other one was took off like a bat of knots, bat out of hell across the road. We're on the Nyang Road to Barradale, yes. Geez, we've had plenty of rain through here from the look of the road from here and there. A lot of sections of the road is still wet. But look, it's very green all around as well, so yeah, they've had a bit of rain out here. And again, a lot of these roads are in really good condition. It's just that you've got all these washaways that you've got to be very careful of. And they can rip the suspension apart if you're not careful, if you're not on top of it. I've learnt that. Well, how green is my roadway? So there's been a lot of rain here. The road is definitely deemed to be open, I hope so. It's not spitting up lots of dust behind me, so it's a bit of dampness underneath it all. There's still water on the side of the road, so it hasn't long been opened if it is. Oh, I know. Grader on the road, cleaning up our road for us. Slow right down so we don't drown him with our dust. Alright, we're on the right track. Now that bloke just wandered in off the road into the bush there, and I grabbed the camera and turned it on, and anyway, he picked me up. Well, we're about probably around about 10 kilometres from Barradale. It's been a fair bit of rain through here, that's for sure. These roads nowhere near in the same shape as further back, and yet they're still good. You can still bat along with a fair bat on them, but you just got to be careful. Again, countryside changes. It's been an interesting drive across. It's been a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Thought I'd have a lot worse roads to drive on, but they've all been well maintained. At least they're dry.
As in what country areas in the old days?
First bloody traffic I've seen in ages. Scared the shit out of me because I was coming up. I hadn't realised I was at the end of the road. Next thing, it's a bloody truck going across in front of me. I thought it was a train. So here we are. We're on the main road. So now the plan is to drive down the highway, and then we'll cut across to Exmouth, and I think I'm on bitumen from here on in. The sign there says this is the Wool Wagon Pathway. So what we've actually been on is a trail that was used by the wool wagons in the olden days for bring the wool out of the pastoral areas. So we've actually been on a bit of a historic trail there, which we have for most of the trip actually. Okay, we're on bitumen, we're heading for Exmouth. Now there's an unusual looking cloud formation for you. It's a bit like a swan, doesn't it? Let's hope that's not an omen for the weekend, swans versus eagles. That's over Exmouth. And to the east of me, the right is ocean. We're out on, we're up on the Exmouth Isthmus. We're in Exmouth. This is all part of Exmouth's main shopping centre. There's nothing real major here. I don't know they've even got a Coles here. There's a Super Value, the Food Works supermarket, Farmer Jack's. And there's a mall up there. And of diving and whale sharks or tourists. If you enjoyed this video, there are over 500 more just like it on this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell and we'll let you know when the next video is available. If you liked this video, hit the like button and feel free to share with your friends. Thanks for watching.